Ladies and gentlemen, if there is one man we must respect, then that man is none other than William Samoei Arap Ruto. William Ruto is fighting a one-man battle. He is fighting President Uhuru Kenyatta. William Ruto is fighting Raila Amolo Odinga. He is fighting the deep state. But up to this stage, the deputy president is still standing tall. But if there's one man who will never forget William Ruto, then that man is none other than President Uhuru Kenyatta. Uhuru Kenyatta will never in his life forget William Ruto. What William Ruto has done to him is actually a very tough lesson. William Ruto went to Gatundu South and won the parliamentary seat there, won the MCA seat there. The deputy president won the presidential seat vote in Gatundu South. He went further and crowned it with a senator and with the governor. But if you will study the voting pattern from the mountain, something is clear that the elections there were rigged. And the question is simple. How did William Ruto, a man considered to be an outsider because he was kicked out of government, engineer a successful rigging scheme right at the backyard of President Uhuru Kenyatta? That's what I want us to look at. Because the figures from Gatundu South is shocking. But before we do that, in case you are watching this channel for the first time, I want you guys to take a second or two, click the subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. And to the subscribers, I want to continue thanking you guys for your continued support, because without that support, this channel cannot be where it is. Now, 3 things have happened in this country in the past few hours, and they are significant politically speaking. The first thing is that the international media, which were actually telling the results, are now projecting Raila Odinga as leading. Initially, BBC, Reuters, and the rest were telling based on Form 34B. They stopped. But if you go to Reuters website, you will find them projecting Raila Odinga winning. That's significant politically speaking, because international community will shape the outcome of this election. And that's why when they were showing William Ruto winning, there was a lot of worry within the Azimio la Umoja movement. The other thing which has taken place in this country is that there was a news item or a statement which was released, allegedly, not confirmed, allegedly released by the Citizen TV and by the Standard Group. That statement was actually shared online. And personally, I also received it in PDF and I thought it was true. It has been since deleted from the source was Silas Jakakimba. But for me, that statement is already serving its purpose. I'm just trying to look at that statement, whether I can get it. Let me see if, okay, I'm getting it. Statement on the statement on the 2022 Kenya presidential election. It says both Standard Group and Royal Media Services had fully tallying teams for presidential elections based on Form 34A, each tallied separately at their own station. As a tradition in Royal Media, we have tallied in the previous elections in 2003, 2007, 2013, and 2017, round 1 and round 2. In all these tallies, we displayed outcome on our screens for public to see. They are going further that the presidential election for 2022 is no exception. But what they are saying in the conclusion, which I want us to look at, is that the results of these 3 forms are tallied are Raila Odinga at 51.13%, William Ruto at 48.22%. The truth of the matter is that as much as the statement is being disowned, it has already served the purpose. The purpose which this statement was supposed to achieve is already achieved. And Kenyans are now discussing that Raila Odinga is going to win by 51%. Whether the statement originated from Standard or not, I see the hands of NIS. The third thing which has happened is that tallying center is now out of bond for politicians. All politicians have been kicked out of the tallying center. What does that tell you? For me, it means two things. The first thing it means is that there's a feeling that the politicians are delaying the release of or the tallying process. So they are being kicked out so that that process can move very fast. So that's number one. Number two, I also see the hands of deep state in this move. I looked at the body language of the commissioners when they were making this announcement, and I can clearly tell you that the deep state has now taken over the tallying center. The tallying center is now fully under the grip of the deep state. So no politician is there to bring chaos, to stall the project, to stall the process. The only people allowed there are the presidential agents who were accredited. So let us wait and see how the whole thing is going to happen. To proceed. But for me, I see the hands of the deep state, and they want to take charge, and that in the next few days, and I want to assume that they want to fast track the process so that maybe tomorrow the results will be out. So that's the third thing which I've noted. But now let us go back now to Kiambu, where this thing took place, the rigging of President Uhuru Kenyatta. And I just want to use some figures here. Let me just get them. Because I'm doing it from the vehicle, I'll not show you the figures of the screen, but definitely you might have came across them. Initially, IBC had flagged 10,000 suspicious votes which were erroneously tallied in favor of William Ruto from Kiambu Town constituency. In that Kiambu Town constituency, which had registered voters of 87,000, William Ruto in that form had 51,050. 10,000 were removed, and now the figures remained at 41,050. Then Raila Odinga's figures in one of the wards there, President Uhuru Kenyatta's ward, his figures were tallied as 11 instead of 111 votes. So in total, Raila Odinga now has 14,860, while William Ruto has now 41,050. 10,000 votes were actually added. IBC has issued a statement, because I like going by facts, that those 10,000 were not added because they had not tallied the figures, but they were actually what was indicated on the forms, which means William Ruto had a clear strategy on how he was going to steal the election. And he didn't even spare President Uhuru Kenyatta's backyard. And I can tell you that there's one thing with President Uhuru Kenyatta. Uhuru Kenyatta is one politician who is very shrewd. He hardly makes political mistakes. And if you want to know that President Uhuru Kenyatta hardly makes political mistakes, as William Ruto was plotting all this, the president was monitoring him. And once he submitted once all these documents were edited and submitted to the portal, that's when Uhuru Kenyatta came out and started telling people that 33 constituencies in the mountain had their figures or their elections rigged. One thing is going to happen, and that thing is that, and watch this space, after the elections, if Raila Odinga is going to be declared the president, William Ruto might be declared, but if Raila Odinga is going to be declared the president, Uhuru Kenyatta is going to reclaim the mountain. The people who rigged the elections in those constituencies, the 33 constituencies, are likely to go back to the polls. There is this Wajangal guy who was a gubernatorial candidate in Kiambu. This guy is saying that the total Kiambu gubernatorial votes aggregated by Form 37B, 822,000. This is about 70% turnout compared to actual 55% Kiemskit voters turnout. So basically what Wajangal is saying is that according to Kiemskit, people who identified were 55,000. But the turnout in Kiambu ended up being 70,000. We all know that Kiambu didn't turn out. So it means, according to Wajangal, there were 175,000 ghost voters who went to the polling station and voted. And is concluding that, unfortunately, this affects all candidates' rights from the presidential to MCS. That's why I'm telling you that in Kiambu County and in 33 constituencies, after the presidential results are announced, these guys will go back to the polls because their elections will be nullified. The evidence are actually there. So Mount Kenya, the other fact is that Mount Kenya voted for Raila Odinga. It's only that his figures were being suppressed. That will come out very clearly, and that these figures are confirming that indeed rigging took place. But how President Uhuru Kenyatta allowed William Ruto to just rig and then play catch up is something which, for me, I can't understand up to this stage. Until next time, this is Lee McQueen. Bye bye.